The recent controversy around Twitch kind of allowing nudity and now going back on it, I guess, has gotten a lot of people wishing for the good old days of when Twitch was actually good, apparently. With people, mostly hacks who were made famous by the website itself, ironically, saying that Twitch has hit a new low and there's no going back. I mean, like it or not, you've probably gotten one of those copy-pasted Twitch situation is crazy videos forced into your recommended. So I could go on about how the Twitch mods call it artistic nudity or whatever, or how it's basically just a softcore porn website at this point. But I'm not really going to go into detail about that kind of stuff because I assume you've already heard all of it. I'll just cut to the chase and give my take on the situation, which is that Twitch has never really been a great platform to begin with the absolutely pointless nature of the website, and an even more exploitable algorithm than YouTube in my opinion. So yeah, it all started back in 2011 when Twitch was originally created with a simple goal in mind. Guy with face cam streams himself playing video game live to other people in chat. And at the time, it was a pretty novel concept actually. A seemingly innocent idea before all the exploiting and, you know. But even at that point, it really wasn't for me. I mean, sure, when I was a kid, I would watch the occasional Shovel Knight speedruns, or Geometry Dash brain rot. But I didn't really stick around that long because I noticed something very quickly. Watching someone else you don't know play a video game is kind of fucking boring, which is why the website itself has moved on to even worse content outside of gaming. You can thank the just chatting category for that, by the way. Anyways, Twitch has, to me, always seemed like a really boring version of YouTube. I never really got the concept of just sitting there and watching some guy play a game, even as background audio. If you want content about video games, there are limitless, well-edited videos about any type of game you could imagine that are way more engaging and stimulating than watching some 30-something blankly play the game while spitting out the same 3 phrases over and over again. Videos, even less edited ones, tend to stick with you a lot more and impact you more than this. I get that the whole point is all about this idea that they're live, ooh, but I'll get into that later. Unless they're doing something that requires a lot of practice and skill, like speedrunning or maybe being at a high rank in a multiplayer game, I'll never understand the idea of watching whatever streamer you worship play games instead of just playing them yourself. And don't worry, I get it, I really do. It's more about the creator's personality rather than the game they're playing. That's why there's so many parasocial moist critical fans. It's like having a friend to talk to, even if they don't really care about you. But what I find wrong about this sentiment that it's all about the interaction, besides that being really sad, is that you'll either get one of 2 streamers. If you try to watch a lesser known streamer and kind of help them out, talk to them in their chat and stuff, it might be okay at first, but soon things get awkward and repetitive. There's gonna be like 10 other people actively talking in the chat saying nothing, so they will do the thing that all streamers do where they blankly read out your message and then respond to it telling you what you want to hear. But it gets old quickly. It starts feeling empty and boring. The alternative is that you go to one of the big streamers where their chats are so spammed out with meaningless garbage from their thousands of yes men that you can never get a real word in. People just be spamming rows of the same emotes and shit because they're bored with their lives. No real discussion can ever happen there. Unless you donate, but you know, that's always how it goes, right? I guess you have to really hit that sweet spot and find a community. But what do you get from it? You get to watch someone else do something anyone could do in their free time and even give them money for it. See, this is what I don't get. I know it's all about the chatting and their personality and stuff, but the fact that they're live doesn't really matter when the whole experience of chatting is so repetitive and shallow. I guess I can kinda understand it if you have someone stream on in the background while you do other things, but that's about it. Actually though, according to the degenerates who rot on this platform all day, that makes you a lurker though, because you're refusing to interact with the chat and add to their echo chamber of nothingness. Side note, by the way, if anyone ever calls you a lurker as a legitimate insult because you won't say good morning chat to Mr. Streamer every single time you join the chat, then they're an incomprehensible loser. It's the most unhealthy and parasocial behavior to do shit like that in my opinion, just saying. Especially when you insult somebody else for not doing it, it's so embarrassing. And these are the types of people who have been asking for the old Twitch back, you know, a place for the guys, for gamers, not for coomers. But this is what they want? This is what they want back?
Adam, this isn't happening every night. I'm getting really tired of this. You promised me you were gonna hit that things were gonna be different around here.
You're the one making a big deal out of 3 a.m.
No, you promised things would be.
There was never really much of a point to it to begin with unless you legitimately have nothing better to do with your time. And I'm talking about Twitch's supposed golden age here. These problems have gotten exacerbated even more in recent times, 2020 and onwards specifically. At this point on Twitch, you essentially have 3 categories of what you can watch. You can watch the white guy react streamers who sit in their rooms all day in their little echo chambers stealing content or playing trendy games. I've said enough about these types in my Moist Critical video alone, so I'll leave it there. If you get tired of that, then you can watch the remaining gaming content, where the streamers tend to be miserable because they're tethered to a game they don't like or have grown tired of it, and if they try swapping content, their channel will die 100%. And if you don't like those 2 categories, you could just watch the softcore porn that's been taking over the platform as of late. You know the drill, the porn hasn't been staying where it should be, and Twitch is basically a campsite at this point for horny losers. And with the new policy, this problem has gotten even worse, with the majority of the most popular female streamers on the site doing softcore porn in some way, even if it's minor. But if you've seen the actual staff behind Twitch, then honestly, what do you expect? I'd expect more from Blizzard staff. These guys know exactly what they're doing. They're degenerates who really love this type of content covering their supposedly gaming-focused website, and love the amount of money they make from it too. But to keep a good public image, they have to pretend like they don't, while creating these guidelines that have an easy loophole around them. Or at least they did before I guess they tested the waters to see what they could get away with recently. And when it didn't work, they immediately reverted it, cause, you know. And, of course, there's always been the other side of this argument, with these porn addicts saying that the women who do this aren't really doing anything wrong, and throwing out words that are so overused on the internet at this point that they've lost all meaning. And I mean, yeah, but the easy counter-argument is that softcore porn shouldn't be on a gaming-focused website. This back and forth has been going on for years now, and this change means nothing. With the addition of the just chatting feature, you can basically do anything on Twitch now. So is it fair to say that recording your brain dead and cold reaction to someone else's hard work, or filming yourself harassing random people in your city to your legion of fanboys doesn't belong in a gaming-focused site either? I often wonder why more people don't notice double standards like this. But then I remember the ones who say this type of stuff are often part of their own little hive minds and can't really think for themselves. Back on topic, like I said, the debate around softcore porn on Twitch has been going on for years now. These new policies have just shed light on them again. And honestly, like with many things, I kind of find both sides of the argument annoying and cringy in their own way. But the majority opinion that these e-girls shouldn't be on the platform doing this is probably where I lean more towards. I shouldn't have to say this, but just to be safe, I'm gonna say that I'm not against porn, blah blah blah, you can do whatever you want. As long as it's not hurting someone, this is what I'm supposed to say, so I'm not labeled as a prude or whatever buzzwords people can think of. I mean, go watch those React streamers if you want. Honestly, it's your time you're wasting.
What the fuck?
I just want you to look back subconsciously in years and wonder how much of your time you spent doing that and how little of an impact it made on you. What memories did you really take to heart after watching the white guy overreact after getting jump scared in whatever horror game is trending this year? But it is something I do care about, especially when it leads to platforms that I like getting worse. I just wanted to shed some light on this opinion that I've had for a while now, and the obnoxious mentality that Twitch is now out of its golden age, because in my opinion there never really was one. Twitch has always been a massive waste of time to me, and the gimmick that you're watching someone live in a long time ago to me. You're smart. I'm sure you can think of something better to do than worshipping a React streamer or a cam girl. Now here's an idea. Maybe play the game that they're playing and form your own opinion on it. If you can find me a streamer that's actually worthwhile, I might change my mind, but I kind of doubt it for now. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Also, don't get me started on VTubers. That shit is vile.